Human behavior is shaped by psychological instincts that have evolved over thousands of years. Many of these tendencies, rooted deep within us, have influenced the course of history in profound and surprising ways. Today, we'll explore 7 psychological phenomena, uncovering their impact on humanity and revealing how they shaped the events of our past. One of the most significant drivers of human behavior is peer pressure. Psychologically, we are wired to seek acceptance and to align with group norms. This tendency can lead to extraordinary events, such as the infamous tulip mania in 17th-century Netherlands. During this period, tulips became a symbol of status and wealth. As demand skyrocketed, prices soared, with some bulbs selling for the equivalent of a craftsman's annual salary. However, this economic bubble burst spectacularly in 1637, leaving many bankrupt. This event remains a classic example of social proof, when we follow others' behavior because we believe it must be correct. Fear of the unknown is a survival instinct deeply embedded in the human psyche. Early humans who approached unfamiliar environments cautiously were more likely to survive, passing this instinct down to future generations. This fear has played a significant role in shaping history. In medieval Europe, the arrival of unfamiliar foods like tomatoes was met with suspicion. Often called poison apples, tomatoes were avoided for centuries before becoming a staple of European cuisine. Similarly, during the Age of Exploration, maps often labeled uncharted waters with warnings of mythical creatures, reflecting the human tendency to imagine threats in the absence of information. Humans have an intrinsic drive to seek status, as it historically correlated with better access to resources and social influence. In ancient Rome, this drive was evident in the exclusive use of Tyrian purple dye, extracted painstakingly from sea snails. Reserved for the elite, purple garments became a symbol of power and wealth. This pursuit of status defined hierarchies in societies, from ancient empires to feudal courts, as leaders displayed their privilege in striking and symbolic ways. Cognitive dissonance describes the discomfort we feel when holding conflicting beliefs or engaging in actions that contradict our values. To resolve this tension, we often justify our decisions, even in the face of contradictory evidence. This phenomenon is clearly illustrated in the Crusades. Knights often faced the moral conflict of committing violence in the name of religion. To reconcile this, many framed their actions as divine duty, believing they were fighting for a higher purpose. Groupthink occurs when the desire for harmony or conformity within a group overrides rational decision-making. This psychological bias has led to some of history's most tragic events, including the Salem witch trials of 1692. In this small Puritan community, fear of witchcraft spiraled into mass hysteria. Group cohesion and fear of dissent fueled accusations, leading to the execution of 20 individuals. The psychological urge to maintain group unity, even at great cost, has often outweighed reason. The halo effect is a psychological bias where we attribute positive traits to someone based on one outstanding quality, like charisma or appearance. This has often influenced leadership choices in history. Take Alexander the Great, whose commanding presence and military successes inspired loyalty from his troops and admiration from his allies. His aura of invincibility made people overlook his flaws and ambitious recklessness. The halo effect has repeatedly shaped perceptions of leaders, influencing both their rise and the loyalty they commanded. The anchoring effect is the human tendency to rely heavily on the first piece of information we receive during decision-making. This psychological quirk has played a key role in history, particularly in negotiations. During medieval trade agreements, merchants often quoted exaggerated initial prices to anchor the buyer's perception of value. Even when they eventually agreed on a lower price, the final deal was usually higher than the buyer intended to pay. This anchoring principle has shaped countless treaties, transactions, and bargains throughout history. These psychological phenomena remind us how deeply our minds are shaped by instincts and biases that have evolved over millennia. Through history, they've influenced decisions, shaped societies, and even determined the fates of nations. By exploring these patterns, we not only better understand our past but also gain insight into the human condition itself. Thank you for watching.